build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance that's bit in his eye. Oh, well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and long gone green. We call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I dry my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as a judge.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. I'm Matty, and I'm joined tonight by John. John, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm all right. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm just literally getting interrupted from my charger here. My daughter's trying not to disturb me and mouthing the word, "Get me your charger." There you go. That's as professional as it gets here. Hi, John. What are you saying? Are you okay?
I'm fine. And I asked how you were because I know normally that we tend to leave you out and you focus on Brian and I. How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, I've had a really busy day. It's kind of standard for me now. So my wife is doing like PT classes, and so I have to drive her to and from in between working, and then my son does stuff that I have to drive him to and from. So it's just kind of constant now, busy. Luckily,
And I heard that
this.
taxi drivers weren't busy during COVID as well. You're here, there, and everywhere.
I'm in the wrong business. I should be trying to get paid for it. Brian, how are you doing?
What becomes of the broken-hearted who had the love that has now departed? Jimmy Ruffin.
Bro.
I'm just going to answer every question with songs tonight.
Will it be songs that also contain a question?
Aye.
What's the best song that contains a question?
The best song that contains a question.
What's love got to do with it?
Well, nothing about this, John. We're just focusing on the questions.
That's a good question, actually.
I stumped you there. Why does my heart feel so bad? That's my favourite one, probably.
It's a tune.
It's good. And they played it after all the goals in the 6-2 as well. Maybe not all the goals, but certainly the later ones. The stadium announcer played it.
We need more stadium announcer shithousery.
Oh, aye, definitely.
And I know it's difficult now with nobody being in the stands. Or maybe that requires a particular skill or thought process. Like, you imagine, I don't know, I'm trying to think of how a stadium announcer would get some shithousery on the go with nobody in the stands now.
That would seem like an ideal time to do it.
Aye. How could you?
You're not going to get in trouble,
anyone?
are you? Or do you think you would?
I don't know. I'm thinking back to the Hibs, the boy that played Boulevard of Broken Dreams, but it was the unedited version that ended up getting him sacked. And the rumour at the time was that it was because he played Taxman when Hearts came to Easter Road.
Aye, but he wasn't sacked because he just decided not to use him again because he was like contracted. That was before Barry Wilkins took over. I'm not sure if he immediately preceded Barry or not, but speaking of DJ mix-ups, and we should be asking questions by now already, but I can't remember if I told this story before. I had a mate who did a morning show Saturday morning on Leith FM, and we used to kind of tune in as you got across the Forth Road Bridge. You'd start being able to pick up the reception. And Josh had football coaching at Gracemount. Or Gilmount, I can't remember. Anyway, that one of the two. And one morning we're driving across, so it's maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock Saturday morning, and there's a Fun-Loving Criminals song that samples Pulp Fiction. And you know that you've seen Pulp Fiction, yeah? Where they do the cafe sign. It's Tim Roth and I forget the actress's name. But it's the kind of "you fucking pigs move and I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you." And he's
Scooby Snacks.
Yeah, Scooby Snacks. That's a good song. But anyway, this bursts out the radio at 9 in the morning. You just hear them kind of, they're almost the record scratching off. And sorry, we had a few technical issues there. Luckily, I think Leith FM has a pretty small audience, so he probably got away without any complaints. But I can imagine him panicking at that point. Nice laddie as well. Right, well, we'll do some questions.
Me as well.
Right, I'm going to put 20 minutes on the clock. We've got quite a few questions today, actually. I don't know if we put the request out earlier. Folk are just preempting us now. So the first question, I always start with one from my dad. So Forgive the sexist language, but what is the female equivalent of a Big Jessie?
Louis Spence.
Ooh, that's probably controversial. But probably right. John, you ever heard of like what a female Big Jessie would be?
No. I'm trying to think of an equivalent, but
Right.
I don't know.
Somebody can send that in to us and we'll retweet the best ones. TG Willis, how much cash do you think Hibs make selling PPV?
Not much. Because anytime you ever go on Twitter, like, there's nobody that's dishing out login details. It's always dodgy streams.
Is that was it John D Streams or whatever his name is? The boy who shoots out
£5 donation.
20 pence, 20 pence. That helps keep the stream going. They must make a decent amount. Like I think, see for the bigger games like the Old Firm, it must have been a dream come true for us not having the Hibs Celtic game on Sky. Because normally the Old Firm come in, the Sky cameras are there, or it's no BT Sport anymore, is it? But so you kind of limits how much they can make. But I think now that game would have been pretty lucrative for us.
I'd imagine the bulk of the revenue will come for advertising, won't it?
You would think
It'll
so.
not be for subscriptions.
I like the match that they put on before it. I don't know, like some folk are quite critical of the presenters and everything, but I quite enjoy it. Like, it's good just to have
Presenters or presenter?
presenter. I was being diplomatic, John.
Welcome.
But I think it's good. It's nice watching a preview for a game that just focuses on Hibs.
Aye.
It's right up my street. That. Right, Ron Burgundy said, if there were 25 hours in a day, what would you do with the extra hour?
Procrastinate.
Aye, absolutely. Like, we could all get up at, 5, 6 o'clock every morning. I know, Brian, you're getting up like stupid hours this morning to get a couple of buses to your work, but like we have that time at the weekend and we just hit snooze, we just stay in bed. We are, I don't know, I wouldn't say that we're a nation of lazy bastards, but see the now with the fucking weather and the dark nights and all that sort of stuff, I just stay in my kip.
So you just have an extra hour in your bed? Well, that's what happens. See, when you get the clocks go back an hour, you just take the extra hour in your bed, don't you?
Aye.
So, right, that's boring. He also asked, if Jack Ross went to Celtic, who would you want in to replace him?
Kofi Annan.
I was seconds away from having a drink there, Brian, and I'm glad I waited.
Worryingly, that was the first name that popped into my head.
Did you happen to see the day that there was a boy in Namibia called Adolf Hitler who was elected to Parliament? Or he was elected Prime Minister, one of the two?
You're joking.
No, not
What
a joke.
I do of is that, and I don't know if it's a spoof, but it's Christmas time in someone's household. And I think the granddad gets the kid a copy of Mein Kampf when he was actually wanting Minecraft.
I said that on this, but yeah, my mate sent it to me and I shared that with a few folk. And it's the boy's reaction. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake. And he's looking at whether he can ditch it. And the wee lad is just kind of looking at this book going, what the hell is this? Mein Kampf and Minecraft. What was the question, Jack Ross? Yeah, if he went to Celtic, when Jack Ross goes, I hope he's been long enough at Hibs and successful enough that we'll miss him when he goes, but also there's enough time that we can have the Bartley, McGregor, Gray management team step in.
Yeah,
That's what I want to see happen. The start of a boot room.
I don't think, sorry, that I'm being outrageous in saying that there's some Hibs fans out there that think that Neil Lennon's a good manager and they're kind of affectionate towards him for his time at Easter Road. Would you have a straight swap of Neil Lennon right now for Jack Ross?
No.
Nope.
No, me neither.
Ah.
So that's that put to bed.
Right. Ledij says just how Scotland was lost to Finland last night. So I think Scotland ladies lost 1-0 last minute pretty much, wasn't it?
Did you see the goal?
No.
Oh, Jesus. So I just saw like 1 minute of footage and it looked like Scotland ladies were piling on the pressure. and Finland break, like a ball lumped forward. Their striker outpaces the Scotland centre halves. The keeper comes out to narrow the angle. Finland player hits the shot. It ricochets off the goalkeeper, bounces off the Finland player's pus, and lands in the back of the net.
Monkey tennis. Fucking monkey tennis.
So I felt, do you know, it probably felt like a Hibs goal as much as it did like a Scotland goal.
Aye. That's the sort of thing that's normally reserved for the men's team as well, isn't it?
Aye.
Ladij also asked, is Brexit the reason Hibs reduced the amount of Eurozone-born players in the squad?
What's with all the football questions? What is this sorcery?
Well, it's okay. We move on quite dramatically for the next question. But Brexit, did you see in England they're introducing kind of quite strict rules about signing players? So there's a limit to how many under 18 players clubs are able to sign from abroad, and overage players have to meet a points criteria before they'll be allowed to a work permit for it.
Good. They fucking voted for it. Hope the
Okay.
league goes down the tubes as a result. Fuck them.
So do they need to sign more under 18 players now? Is that the...
No, they can only they have to sign fewer. So I think what happens now,
I
if you
take
like,
it Graham Ricks has announced his retirement then, but my football management...
straight out of there. I think the idea that you've got like Man City and Chelsea, these clubs with the huge wealth that just mop up all the talent around Europe, bring them in as young laddies, train them up, and then they either make it or they don't, and just ship them. So now they'll be restricted at how many they're allowed to sign. It's probably a good thing for the English national team, you would think. And similarly, if it makes its way to Scotland, it would probably bode well for the Scottish national team. That's my opinion. Encourages teams to grow their own a bit more. Right, Ricky has a question that says, would you live in, or I suppose it said, would you rather live in a world of Nazis or a world full of femdom, lesbian, check shirt wearing man-haters?
Well, I think Nazism had its chance, so I'd like to see some female lumberjacks rule the world.
Aye. That's the one I would go. Aye. If I was being politically correct, I would say you can't really compare the two reasonably, you know. But
What about
Right.
if you were trying to compare them unreasonably, Matty? How would you do it?
you can say what you like. If you're being unreasonable, anything's on the table, isn't it? Right, next one. Peter Brown said, if you could sleep with anyone from history, who would that be? And you can't have Kofi Annan.
Brian? You must have slept with everyone for history by your age.
Anyone from history. Cilla Black.
I did not expect that answer.
Well, she dedicated all of her Saturday nights to trying to get other people laid, and I think maybe she just needed a wee bit of love in herself. I'm going for Cilla.
John?
I've got no idea. Brian has this unique ability to come up with answers that just totally silences me. I've got, like, clears my brain of any possible thoughts whatsoever. Matty, who would you go for?
That's a good question. I'm not entirely sure either, John, to be fair. Do you know, it would probably be quite good to do something like Cleopatra, just to say that you'd done it, and to see if she was coming at you. Right, 150k on Harlan Hill. If you keep your eyes open when you sneeze and your eyeballs pop out, would your arsehole pop out if you hold your arse cheeks apart while sneezing?
I don't even need to hold my arse cheeks for my arm to pop out.
Aye.
Why not? Eh?
There's going to be someone out there that's had a prolapse after a heavy sneeze, eh? Has to have.
Aye, but you must have had the thing where you fart and sneeze at the same time, though. That happens fairly frequently.
to you, but the sounds of it.
Well, it has happened to me. I suppose it's the force of the sneeze pushes one out the other end. It would be good if folk announced a fart the way that they announced a sneeze, though. Do you know how you get some people who are really keen on making sure you know that they're either about to sneeze or are sneezing?
Aye, like hear it throughout the entire office, like reverberating off the walls.
And they do the thing with their hands wafting at their face and everything. They go, here it comes in with a few deep breaths before it. People should be more animated.
We're in the office and you just went off an absolute howitzer, a trumpet, and someone, oh, bless you. Oh, bless you. Thanks, Sandra.
You got the cold, son.
Right, some images of my work now. Just like, here we go, team meeting, guys.
Never look at a sneeze the same way.
Right, you know how folk have, and this always stuck with me, and it's a stupid thing to stick with me, but you know when you're an adult and you hear something that you expect you probably should have heard when you were wee, right? So I had a flatmate, John, that I've talked about in here before, who came into the living room one time, and he just did this like kind of wee dance with wee pointy fingers, and he went, "Listen to this, too good to miss." Did it, and he turned it and then party, right? But then, so I had kind of heard that. He went, "Here comes another, just like his brother." Did it? Delivered another one, and it tickled me like something chronic, because I never, like I say, that's just the kind of thing you would expect to have known from school, but I'd never heard it. It obviously made an impression, because I still think of that song to this very day. Right, Mike Berry said, if the vaccine turned you into Craig Levein, would you still have it?
No.
Wouldn't make a difference to me. I'm probably just as much of a loser as he is at the moment. So
You get just as many medals.
Brian, I think Craig Levein's in the relegation spot for loser material. You're just in the playoffs.
I've still got a chance.
Redeemable.
Kunster said, if the vaccine grew your ears to 5 times the size, would you still go to the football?
Aye, but I'd expect that a lot of football fans would answer the same. But so will that reduce the capacity of your respective ground?
It'd be like sitting next to the BFG, wouldn't it? Like, but when the BFG was wee.
Aye.
I wonder if there's a vaccine out there that would make me go to the football.
But you would imagine the players would have to get vaccinated as well. So I wonder if that would change the dynamics of football. Like, would players run slower if they had massive flappy elephant ears?
The aerodynamics would come into play, wouldn't it? There'd be.
See when you're ever out like near a football pitch, like say it's kids playing or it's kids being coached or like even senior games or whatever. Like there was one thing I noticed recently when I was playing golf near a set of football pitches nearby, and I think there's one bit of chatter you will get from every single football coach at every age group at every single level, and it is always talk to each other. That has never changed in my 37 years on this earth. So I don't know that big ears are going to change anything, because it's obvious that people aren't fucking listening.
Listen to each other. 150k on Hanlon Hill. He said, if you're already a specky cardigan wearing FUD, would it turn you into George Clooney?
Well, it seems like shaving your moustache turns you into George Clooney, Matthew.
Did you like that wee joke?
I did, aye.
My dad commented, because I put it on Facebook as well, and my dad just put, "Oh, you're looking more like your old man every day." Right, Mal Bergen said, taking out of the equation any Hibs song, what song would you like to see Hibs emerge from the tunnel to? It could have to be Lightning in the Dark, the theme tune to Longbangers.
Honestly, big fan of that song and that album, but something I've wanted Hibs to run out to for a while is called A Certain Shade of Green by Incubus. I love it.
What about you, Brian?
Hurt by Johnny Cash.
Staying alive. Bursting it. Right, Kaiser Soze. If you could climb down someone's chimney, who would it be and what would you do? And he says, I would dive down Craig Levine's and shit in his kettle.
Kelly Brook, and I would do unspeakable things.
Rifle or pants drawer.
That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Just a tip.
That's all I have, John.
We're back into Argos territory here again. John?
I don't know. Did you give an answer, Matty?
Nah, I asked the questions.
Aye, but going off for an answer while I stall for time.
So I'd like to go down Santa's chimney. Kenny was out, so he'd be easy one to burgle. Pick the right night.
I don't know, like the obvious ones, or maybe the obvious ones to me, are either revenge or voyeurism. And I don't know if I want to venture either.
You killed two birds with one stone if you just think somebody tidies roid you at some point.
That's happened a lot. Usually when I get turned down, KB'd.
Well, you must have a list then, eh? Everybody's got a list.
It's like fucking Santa's.
Right, Raimondo Bruin said, given the obviously highly likely upcoming participation in the Champions League, what is the preferred venue and why? So who would you like to get? So he gave examples such as Munich for the beer, Valencia for the sunshine and paella, Rome for pasta and wine. So where would you like a Champions League trip to and why?
Amsterdam. Self-explanatory.
By the way, that's
love the museums there.
Well, fucking love bicycles.
I'm gonna go Germany. Anywhere in Germany. Dortmund, fucking Munich. Munich would be good for Oktoberfest.
Munich's bro. I'll say Glasgow so we
chance
can
have
play
we got
Celtic
to
because
be
we
in
get
Europe
3
in
points. That's true. September, Oktoberfest is September. But I'd say Glasgow. Go to Glasgow because we're guaranteed to get the win. The way Celtic are playing now. Baz said, will you take Neil Lennon back? Please, Baz is a Celtic fan.
I'm sorry, no.
We're not having that. Cam said, will football teams go private to get their players vaccinated? You would think so, eh?
I don't know how that's going to work. Like, because
So
they're
you get
talking
a
about.
gag, I think.
Fuck off.
Then a couple of weeks later, you have to go get a second one.
It's the fact you did the motion as well.
With a belt.
I don't know.
I think they're bound to. Like, why would you know if you could do it? They go private for all the other medical things. So
I think if you
imagine
take
if football.
maybe 500 or 600 more times, I'm just not going to take part anymore.
Kunster said, will Hibs finish top 4 now? Motherwell have been given 6 points by the SPFL.
Yes.
I think you both saw that story as well. Like Motherwell, who would have played St Mirren and would have played, was it Hamilton, the other team? They could fulfill a fixture. Might be Kilmarnock, thank you. Motherwell were given the points in a 3-0 win. So it's the first time I think an SPA, the top flight team's got 6 points in the same day. Ever. So a wee bit of history made from that. It's unclear, and it's not been Hearts haven't made their statement on it yet, but I think there's a good chance Budge is going to go to court over that one as well. Right, and then we've got the last question because we're just about out of time. Mixu99 said, will elite level footballers in Scotland get the vaccine early? Well, who knows, earlier than who? We'll get them earlier than the rest of us, I would imagine. Oh, that's us out of time. Were you going to answer that, John?
No, I was going to ask a question.
That's not how it works.
Aye.
Oh, well, that is the whole idea behind Shortbangers, is it not?
We need to demonstrate. What was your
So-
question, John?
So the question was, it's the elderly, the care homes, and I think it's care workers that are going to get the jag first. They're going to be the guinea pigs for this vaccine. That's meant to be 90-95% safe. And I do believe that. I hope it didn't sound like a 5G anti-vaxxer. But how do you then, do you think it's going to be rolled out to everyone else? Like, is it going to be your national insurance number, or is it going to be like in like age brackets, or I don't know? Luck of the draw.
They're probably going age brackets, I would think, or identify higher risk occupations, or folk with certain medical conditions or whatever. I'm not sure how they would do it, but you would imagine it would be like that rather than I'll
If
national.
it goes on age brackets, I can imagine right now Obafemi Martins is setting fire to his passport and his birth certificate.
What was it like for Hearts? Who did that? Larry Kingston.
Oh, aye.
He was about 10 years older than he made out. Mind there's the Saudi Arabia team that beat Scotland in the under-16 championship.
Weirdly enough, I was thinking about them at the start of this podcast. I don't know why. I don't know. Was it something to do with mustaches? There was a certain tangent and train of thought in my head
Young
that made
boy
me
in
go there.
shorts, John.
Could have been.
I
I just want to.
wore my turban tonight.
I just want to clarify that my joke about list the people that have knocked me back and comparing it to Santa's, it wasn't the wee girls and boys. I was just talking about the length of the list.
Reassuring.
Aye, that's good to hear. Right, that's us for tonight. We will be back next Thursday with another Shortbangers. Thanks for listening if you made it this far. And stay tuned. I suppose over the weekend we'll put an episode of Bangers out and we'll see you then. Cheers.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee.